What's up, guys? Mickle here. Wanted to give you a quick update on exactly what we got from the ruling yesterday. I've had some time to read through a lot of the different legal opinions and talk to some people who have been following this case closely and really get a grasp for what we're going to see going forward. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick update just talking about that. I just got out of a very rainy round of golf. Wanted to just make this video quickly, so let's jump right into it. So the first thing we need to understand, and maybe the most important thing from yesterday, is that we are finally back to how Howie was supposed to be interpreted, which is that XRP, or the asset itself, is not the security. Judge Torres completely rejected the SEC's attempt to say that XRP itself is a security. This is not how the Howie test works. This is exactly what John Deaton has been saying since day one, and the SEC's attempt to try to recreate the law completely failed. Now, in my opinion, this really is the biggest win we got from yesterday. It's the fact that the SEC is not allowed to just change the law and try to say that the asset is a security. Judge Torres completely rejected that, and now we know that XRP itself will never be declared a security. Now, there was some part that Ripple did lose in this case, but they are so insignificant compared to XRP not being a security. Ripple got dinged on some institutional sales, and this is what people like me and John Deaton have been saying since day one of this case. Ripple is going to get a slap on the wrist for something, and that is exactly what we saw. In my opinion, it's a complete non-factor. It just means Ripple's going to have to do certain parts of their business a little different, but it has no implications on XRP, and it has no implications on XRP holders. Essentially, Ripple's ODL business will be fine going forward. Essentially, everything Ripple is doing with CBDCs and cross-border payments will be fine. They're just going to have to figure out a way to sell to institutions in a compliant manner. Maybe they have to register with the SEC. I think a lot of people are forgetting it was not declared illegal for Ripple to sell XRP to institutions. It was just deemed that that is a securities transaction and should be registered with the SEC. So what does that mean? Well, that means maybe when Ripple has to sell some XRP to Bank of America, they have to file that sale with the SEC. Now, does that matter in my opinion? No, not in the slightest. Personally, I actually think it kind of makes sense. This way, we have transparency on which institutions in the United States are getting XRP, and that transaction doesn't have to happen instantaneously. If Bank of America wants to top off its XRP supply for, say, a liquidity pool, all Ripple has to do is say, here, SEC, here's notice we are sending Bank of America 10 million XRP. Boom, that's the registration process, done. But there is no absurd idea that XRP itself needs to register with the SEC. That never made any sense. It was never going to work. And the intention of that by the SEC was to break and kill XRP. Now, one of the funny things I'm seeing right now is all the Bitcoin maxis having a meltdown right now. They're all purposely misinterpreting Judge Torres' ruling, trying to say, oh, this makes things worse for Ripple. Oh, this makes things worse for XRP. Guys, that could not be further from the truth. What these people are doing is just trying to scare you. They know that XRP is now on the same regulatory status as Bitcoin, and that absolutely terrifies them. They know with a level playing field, XRP is going to kick Bitcoin's butt, and that's why they are begging regulators to try to stop XRP. It's all they have left. They know on a level playing field, Bitcoin and XRP can't compete, and that's why we see these people freaking out right now and trying to misinterpret Judge Torres' ruling. But guys, for anyone who has any idea what's going on here, this was clear to Coinbase and is going to be clear to the institutions. It is obvious that in Judge Torres' ruling, she went out of her way to make it explicitly clear that XRP is not a security. The idea that somehow makes things more unclear, or the idea that that's somehow bad for Ripple or XRP, is completely absurd. These people understand, like I said, how big this ruling was, how impactful it's going to be for the entire industry. They are desperately trying to do anything to slow down XRP because Judge Torres just gave it a regulatory status that might even be more clear than Bitcoin. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is how institutions are going to look at this. Guys, Ethereum is really entering a sketchy spot right now in comparison to XRP. In a Coinbase hearing earlier today, the SEC once again reaffirmed that not made a determination on Ethereum. Now, the reason why this is so important is because the SEC is now fully backtracked on Ethereum, so Ethereum is in a pretty hazy situation. Meanwhile, XRP has crystal clear clarity from the courts. Bitcoin, once again, that just has the SEC's blessing. But if they walked back on Ethereum, what makes us think they won't walk back on Bitcoin? So in my eyes, XRP is now the digital asset with the most clarity, and that is going to be huge for institutions. We know that institutions want to get into blockchain. We know institutions want to start tokenizing assets. We know institutions want to move money faster, and they also are really interested in DeFi. Institutions are going to have to look to the XRP ledger now. The XRP ledger is one of the only blockchains with certain clarity. It's faster than Ethereum. It can do things unlike Bitcoin. And at the end of the day, it is a more institutional ready blockchain. The only thing Bitcoin and Ethereum had was made up clarity, but XRP just got the real clarity from Judge Torres in this court case. And I honestly think XRP is going to be positioned perfectly to be an institutional ready blockchain where real money can flow in. We're not talking about a couple $1 million from some early whales or some retail traders. We are talking about hundreds of billions to trillions of dollars tokenized on the XRP ledger, moving massive amounts of money, settling quadrillions of dollars yearly. That's the kind of institutional money that is going to flow into the XRP ledger because of this clarity. Prior to this, the only thing institutions could touch was Bitcoin and Ethereum. That completely changes with this ruling. Some people are wondering if that's true, why hasn't the price ripped up to $10? Guys, it's going to take some time. Institutions need to read through this, understand exactly what happened. But let me tell you, once they do and once they start putting their strategies together, they are going to have to choose the XRP ledger. It's not going to happen overnight, but guys, our big fight is over. We got what we needed to see, which was that XRP is not a security and it won't be. The other thing people are talking about is whether or not the SEC is going to appeal this decision. It seems like all the Ripple and XRP haters are 100% certain that the SEC is going to appeal this decision, just like they were 100% certain that Ripple was going to lose this case and XRP was a security. Well, let me just say, the SEC just took a whooping in this case. I don't see any reason why the SEC would want to push this case any further because they already lost on the biggest issue. Is XRP a security? The court dismissed the fact that this could even be possible. The whole idea that XRP, the asset, could be a security was completely thrown out by the court. So I doubt the SEC is going to try to bring back up this issue. The SEC won on the only thing that made sense, Ripple's institutional sales. But they don't really care about that. They wanted the asset itself to be the security, and Judge Torres outright rejected that idea. I don't see how they could bring this to a higher level court and try to make this argument make sense. It never made any sense from the start. Judge Torres blew up their logic, and that's not going to change at some higher level court. They were wrong on the law, and that's why they got smacked down so hard. Even if the SEC did appeal also, it would eventually go to the Supreme Court, and the SEC has lost 6 out of their last 7 Supreme Court cases. The SEC is not going to win this case at the Supreme Court, and by elevating it to higher level courts, they're only going to do more damage to the agency. I think it makes a lot more sense from a strategy perspective for the SEC to go after a different coin, for the SEC to try to get a different judge that will just rubber stamp anything they say to try to get a ruling that honestly goes against the law, saying the asset is a security, but that's not going to happen to XRP. Their legal team is way too good. They smoked the SEC. If I was the SEC, I would want to distance myself from this case as much as possible. The last thing I would want to do is bring it to a higher level court and push this baseless theory that XRP is the security. It's never going to work, and it's certainly not going to work in this case because the issues are so well understood at this point. Everyone knows what's going on. It is clear as day that XRP isn't the security, and the SEC is not going to have any more success just bringing up the same issue over and over again. They're just going to damage their agency even more and could possibly make a permanent change to how we test that could completely limit their agency going forward. Anyway, though, guys, I hope that made sense. I hope you are as happy as I am about this ruling. Guys, this was not some small win for Ripple and XRP. This was the best ruling we could have asked for. And I will say one last thing. Thank God we got Judge Torres and Judge Netburn. They absolutely killed it. They were one of the few judges who probably would actually look into cryptocurrency and give this issue the respect it deserved, but they absolutely killed it. We got the ruling we needed, so congratulations, and I can't wait to see how this all plays out going forward. For now, Mickle out.